We're going to go back and update you on this controversial proposal we've been reporting on in Montgomery County just 30 minutes ago. The council voted on a plan to create more affordable housing for middle-income families. Our Matt Gregory just walked out of that meeting. Matt, we know in the lead up to this, there was a whole lot of backlash and emotion. So tell us what the council decided.
I mean, in the end, Leslie, they decided yes to vote in favor of this zoning change, but it was a tense meeting. I mean, at one point, the council president had to stop everyone and say, please stop shouting and booing. Let's do this civilly. And in the end, like I said, the council voted, and it wasn't close, to pass missing middle or workforce housing, as they're calling it here in Montgomery County. We'll take you through the process. Remember, this is a long-going process to get to. We covered sort of the planning portion. Well, this was the big vote today. Now, if you're not familiar with missing middle sort of looks like this. In addition to, in order to address sort of middle-income families, or at least the lack of housing for them, the county's looking at allowing these single-family lots in certain areas across the county to be rezoned into multifamily dwellings. Now, at the actual hearing today, at the vote today, while each council member got ready to explain their vote or how they were going to vote, we heard people in the crowd, a very anti-zoning change crowd, they would shout, boo, or they'd cheer if the council member was on their side. We saw them holding, silently signs of protest, saying, please do not change our neighborhoods. At one point, the council president, Kate Stewart, she had to step in and say, please, can we stop? Let's just get through this. This is part of the democratic process. And in the end, 8-3, the council voted to allow missing middle, this sort of zoning change from single to multifamily in certain corridors across the county. But people who say it's going to ruin their neighborhoods, people who are very upset, very anti this change, they say the fight doesn't end here. They're going to keep it going.
Wheaton has never been to the table. They have never invited us because they never had to. But we're here today. We got on a bus. People took off work, and they got on a bus to be here today to hear our council members vote for a racist policy that will displace. And the fact that they're saying eminent domain won't happen, eminent domain is happening. This is what it takes for the BRT lanes to be built. That's all part of the transportation package of these housing plans, of Thrive 2050. We are to be walking, biking, and taking the bus.
And see Montgomery County move forward in terms of creating more housing, especially near transit. That's very significant. If you're really an environmentalist, you're gonna love this because you do want to build more housing near transit, and this is what we're doing.
So that was Natalie Fanny Gonzalez. That's the council member who co-sponsors legislation. She obviously very much in favor of this, and she said, we put guardrails in place to avoid people getting displaced. That's what they're kind of pushing forward. And she also said, listen, we believe in 5 to 10 years, this will create more housing opportunities for those middle-income families, ones that, can't easily access housing because of subsidies, or people that aren't wealthy enough to afford some of the current housing stock in Montgomery County. Now, so it's passed. It goes into effect on November 1st. But coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to talk about what those guardrails look like, some of those things that the council says they put in place to make sure this is the best possible outcome. And you'll hear from more residents about their concerns coming up at 6 o'clock. But for now, in Rockville, outside of Montgomery County Council headquarters, I'm Matt Gregory. Back to you.
Yeah, deeply concerning for a lot of residents that you've been speaking to, of course, over your reporting about how this will reshape their communities and where they live. We'll be following it, and we'll see you at 6 o'clock, Matt. Thank you.